If a Calvinist wants to be consistent with his belief system, he has to believe that God wills people to sin. Now, most of us would find such a notion to be repulsive. To make God the author of sin, that's blasphemous. Of course, most Calvinists are smart enough not to say that God is the author of sin, but they say that he decrees all things, including sin, and in doing so they set up a system that is indistinguishable from saying that God is the author of sin. Listen to what these Calvinistic authors have to say. This from A.W. Pink in his book, The Attributes of God. The decrees of God relate to all future things without exception. Whatever is done in time was foreordained before time began. God's purpose was concerned with everything, whether great or small, whether good or evil. Now, let's look at what John H. Gerstner has to say in his article, Does God Love the Sinner and Hate Only His Sin? As man continued to sin, God continued to increase his fury. His wrath is in no hurry. The record is kept, all accounts receivable. Every idle word will be brought into judgment, Matthew 12:36. The cup of iniquity must be filled. Then wrath to the uttermost, 1 Thessalonians 2:16. God's glory shines in the perfection of his work, but God decreed the sin, Proverbs 16:4. Yes, for good and for glory, man did it for shame, for evil and for shame. Well, as a side note, Proverbs 16:4 does not teach that God decrees sin, but that God decrees a proper and just ending for the wicked. But Sean, the Calvinist, may argue, God is not the author of sin because sin is his decretive will. I'm sorry, but adding an obscure theological wrapper does not absolve you from the reasonable consequences of your belief system. But now, let's turn to the Bible. Let's look at Jeremiah chapter 19, verse 5. They have built the high places of Baal to burn their children in the fire as offerings to Baal, something I did not command or mention, nor did it enter my mind. This is far from God decreeing that man should sin. It did not even enter the mind of God. There is no secret council whereby God secretly decrees horrible things. God does not will mankind to sin. And in this specific regard, Jeremiah 19:5 destroys a major point of Calvinism. You can, of course, if you wish, still be a Calvinist. But what you can't do is say that God decrees sin. If your understanding of the sovereignty of God includes him decreeing sin, then your theology is unbiblical. If you think this channel might interest you or might benefit you, I encourage you to subscribe and share with your friends. Remember, you have free will. You can freely choose to subscribe and share. Until next time, God bless.